I have finally completed what I believe to be the best Euro 2024 fantasy team anywhere on the internet. Welcome to FPL Mate. My name is Dan. Let's have a look at this beautiful fantasy team. Okay guys, so this is going to be my last team-related video before the Matchday 1 deadline. I think I've pretty much completed everything I wanted from a fantasy team, and everything is looking perfect. We've got everything we need going forward. I think you guys are gonna love this team. It's got a little bit of everything. So guys, I am still rolling with the chip strategy of the limitless in Matchday 3. I think that's gonna be really important due to rotation, injury, suspension, changes in form, and different teams having different things to play for in Matchday 3, the final game of the group stages. So I think that limitless chip is going to be really useful there. In terms of wildcard, some people will choose to use that in Matchday 2, allowing you to have a fresh team in each of the 3 group stages, I guess, match days, and that's going to allow you to maximize your points in what will be the highest scoring period of the fantasy game. However, from previous experiences playing these international fantasy football games, I have found that actually you kind of do need a wildcard later on in the tournament to refresh your team during the knockout stages if there's any upsets, and there often is. So I'm going to be saving mine for Matchday 5. I actually think it's pretty easy to set up a team for Matchday 1 and 2 using your unlimited transfers in the opening matchday. So that's what we're going to do today. Just bear that in mind. So let's go through this team. Starting off in goal, we have got Jordan Pickford. Yes, 36% clean sheet odds in Matchday 1 against Serbia, 35% clean sheet odds Matchday 2 versus Denmark. He's a good shot stopper, and he is the kind of guy who will make saves. He is safe, he is nailed, and he is a very decent price at 5 million as well. So I do enjoy that. Although I do like Mark Gahey as a budget England defensive asset at 4.5 million. For me, Pickford is in my team due to those structural reasons. So whether you're going for Pickford, whether you're going for Mark Gahey, both are great choices. It's going to depend on your structure a little bit. And going for Pickford allows me to pick a more attacking 4.5 million defender in my squad. My defense has changed a little bit from last time. In left back, we have got Mittelstadt. Yes, he is the left back for Stuttgart, who finished second in the Bundesliga this year. He has now started 4 games in a row for Germany, so his minutes are looking fantastic. And according to some leaks that I've seen, it looks like Mittelstadt is actually going to start Matchday 1. If not, well, we'll know about that anyway, because the deadline is not until all the way until kickoff. I was impressed with him during recent friendlies. He scored against the Netherlands a little while ago, but he was the most creative player in that Germany team versus Ukraine. So I think it's actually a no-brainer at 4 million. And honestly, guys, I'm going to tell you this now. Right now, he is my only Germany player. Haven't got any other Germany assets. I know a lot of people are going for Germany midfielders and forwards because they're looking for that captain option for the first day of Matchday 1. Of course, in Euro Fantasy, you can change your captain once per day to a player who hasn't played yet. So you kind of want a captain from the Germany versus Scotland game to start you off. If you want to know more about that, make sure you check out the how to play video on how captaincy works, how you can change it each day. But certainly, I prefer Mittelstadt as a captain for the first of Matchday 1. We're going to talk about that a little bit later though, but my only Germany player. Widmer is an advanced right wing back for Switzerland. He is a 0% selected hidden gem that I want to talk to you about right now. He actually scored in his last friendly against Austria because he is playing very, very high up on that right-hand side, which is really useful. He only played 2 qualifiers due to an injury, but he scored in one of them there as well. He also got an assist in the World Cup last time around versus Serbia. So what we've seen very consistently is in the games that he does play, he is getting attacking returns, and that's fantastic when we're looking at those defenders. So good history of attacking returns. Switzerland, they've got a 36% chance clean sheet odds versus Hungary in Matchday 1, and in Matchday 2, because I'm looking to have players for the first 2 match days, Widmer and Switzerland, 34% clean sheet chance versus Scotland as well. So really nice high chances of clean sheets in both of those opening 2 games, which is going to be very, very useful for me. He is an underrated, undervalued player that not enough people are talking about, and I thought we'd throw him in guys, you may already know from previous videos that my strategy in Euro Fantasy is very much going for high risk, high reward players first. Players like Midfield, Vidma, DeMarco, and Goalkeeper, who we're going to talk about very, very shortly, are players who have decent chances of a clean sheet, but also very good chances of attacking returns. Each of these players could easily get not just a clean sheet, also a goal or an assist, man of the match, and they could have those huge scores. They also all have a chance of just scoring 1 or 2 points, but that's why they're on my pitch to start off with. So if it doesn't go well, I can substitute them off for those safe players on my bench. Vidma is a perfect example of a player, a defender, high upside, who plays early on in the match day. And that's the strategy I'm going for. Next up, DeMarco. 53% chance of a clean sheet. That is the best of any team in match day 1. Set piece taker as well. Just a 19% clean sheet chance versus Spain in match day 2, however. So I have saved 0.5 million in the bank to swap to Guardiol, who plays Albania in matchday 2. Guardiol is 5.5, so I'm going to try and save a little bit of money to make that upgrade for matchday 2. I think that is going to be fantastic, and then I could just basically keep moving to defenders who play against Albania. No offense, Albania, but I think our defenders might be able to keep clean sheets against you. But next up, we have got another differential player, 0% selected Goalkeeper. Now, he was only added to the game yesterday, and I've been very patiently waiting for him to be added to the Euro Fantasy game. Previously, he was not anywhere to be seen. But basically, let me tell you about him. He is an attacking left-back. He got 3 goals and 10 assists in the Belgian league last season, so that shows his attacking pedigree. He recently made his debut for Belgium, and he really impressed. A lot of Belgian fans are really hyping up this player as the next big thing. But here's the crucial part. For Belgium, very recently, in the last week or so, we have seen injuries to Tayat, Munia, and Vertonghen, which means that De Goalkeeper basically needs to play now. He is found himself in a situation where all of the competition for his position in that left back position, well, they are not available. So De Goalkeeper should be available, playing, starting for those first 2 games for Belgium, and those are the games I want him for. Really, really like this one. Obviously, Belgium are another team with very, very high clean sheet odds due to them playing Slovakia, and I think this is going to be a great pick. Now, the other option here for me is to go for Jonathan Tah. That is an option, but right now I'm on De Goalkeeper because I think De Goalkeeper has a higher upside, that has that higher chance of getting those huge scores rather than just looking for those 6-7 pointers that your standard centre-back might be able to get. Before we go any further, I'd love to show you the latest merch we are making over at fanprints.uk. We have recently dropped a new collection of hats, t-shirts, and customizable posters themed around the Euros. England fans, you might like this retro mashup mug, or maybe a bucket hat is more your thing. Our Fantasy, Premier League, and general football products are also still available. These make great gifts for football fans in your life, or maybe a little treat for yourselves. Fanprints are shipping worldwide, so nobody misses out, and we already have happy customers in all corners of the globe. And FPL Mate viewers can get an exclusive 20% discount on all purchases by using FPL Mate, all one word, at checkout. So check out fanprints.uk by clicking the link in the description or pinned comment. Making a purchase at Fanprints is the best way to support this YouTube channel, and you'll get something awesome in return. So unlike in fantasy, everybody wins. Okay, right now, Szoboszlai is in my fantasy team, and this is not something that I'm 100% convinced by. Now, he got 4 goals and 4 assists in 8 qualifiers. That's very, very good. He also got a goal in each of the last 2 friendlies in March. In the 2 most recent friendlies, however, he has blanked, and he came off as a precaution in a friendly game against Israel the other day. And honestly, he is probably my most at-risk player that I might swap, but considering he's a penalty taker, he is a free kick taker, he is a corner taker, he is the hub and central playmaker talisman for his team, I do expect that if Hungary are scoring goals, it is going to be Szoboszlai getting them. And it also allows me to hedge my bets a little bit with both a Hungary attacker and a Switzerland defender, because in theory, one of them will get you some points regardless. And of course, we have our bench ready to go to swap out whichever of the 2 players that doesn't perform. And I think that will be kind of handy. But I am looking at some alternatives here. Gundogan I could potentially go for. Would still be looking to captain Mittelstadt, but I would potentially bring in Gundogan for his penalties. Kanaloglu of Turkey, another player on penalty set pieces who has a pretty decent fixture. And maybe Mudryk for Ukraine. Possibility, unlikely, but yeah, I can definitely see myself swapping before deadline. I just need more time to think, and I probably won't make this decision until fairly last minute. Shaqiri is still in the team, 2 goals and 3 assists in qualifiers, 2 goals in recent friendlies against Ireland and Estonia, on penalties, on set pieces, just 2% selected, and another one of those high-risk, high-reward players that I'm happy to roll with for the early games during the match day. I think he's going to do well. Rodri is still in here. Obviously, we know he did very well for Man City. Lots of goals, lots of assists. He takes a lot of shots from range. In Euro Fantasy, you get extra points for scoring goals from outside of the box, so that's going to be useful. And also, interceptions, tackles, and man of the match will all get you fantasy points, and Rodri is the kind of player who will do well in those regards. Plus, pretty much everyone owns Rodri, right? And I do think I need to go safe on some of the areas of my pitch. And I'm trying to balance my team a little bit between having some risky players, some safe players. It's a bit of both, right? Saka is my final midfield pick. England's second top scorer in qualifying with 4 goals and 3 assists in 7 games. Not really too concerned about Palmer. Saka is the better tactical matchup, I think, for the Serbia game. Foden is another opportunity there, as is Bellingham. I think Saka will actually play more minutes than Foden in the opening 2 games for England. Bellingham, I do like, but I'm not convinced the upgrade is worth the 1 million it would cost me to upgrade Saka. So not quite convinced on that one. Another England player in Kane. Yes, we've got the England triple up, and I promise you guys, it's not me being biased. I just think England are a pretty good footy team. Of course, Kane is England's top scorer and an absolute hog of those England goals. 8 goals and 2 assists in 8 qualifying games, and on penalties as well. But you guys already know that Kane is a fantastic fantasy asset. But I have to be totally honest with you, I prefer Lukaku. Yes, even though Kane seems to be the more popular guy, Lukaku is still at 15% selected, one of the most underrated fantasy picks in Euro Fantasy. I think people are just not giving him the credit he deserves. You know, Lukaku was the top scorer in qualifying with 14 goals and an assist. He got 2 more goals in a friendly the other day against Luxembourg, and his fixtures are Slovakia, Romania, and Ukraine. This is a serious sleeper option, and even at 15% selected, if you go for Lukaku, you are going to see huge advantages from him when he inevitably scores in every game in the group stage, because he really is that good for Belgium. He is a hero of Belgium and just an insane goal scorer, and when you have De Bruyne in your team creating for you, that really helps that as well. Onto my bench, and we have got a maybe less familiar name, and his name is Stanek. Now, I'm not really convinced by any of the 4.5 million goalkeepers right now, so I thought, well, if I've got Pickford here, who I really do quite trust to get a clean sheet in that opening game anyway, is there really any point in going for a 4.5 million goalkeeper who, one, I probably won't end up playing because Pickford will keep a clean sheet. England, one of the stronger defences in the tournament. And 2, I mean, I don't even think there's any safe goalkeepers that cost 4.5, and I certainly don't want to spend 5 million on a second goalkeeper. It doesn't seem like much point, because the goalkeeper position is kind of the least valuable position in Euro Fantasy, because there's no interception points, there's no man of the match points that are very likely. You really are relying on a penalty save to get anything decent from a goalkeeper. Otherwise, it's going to be fairly low scores for those goalkeepers. But obviously, there's Lunin at Ukraine, 4.5. Super rotation risk, not convinced by that one. Verbruggen for the Netherlands, who I do think their chances of clean sheets has improved in match day 1, given that Poland are now missing Lewandowski. But I'm still not completely convinced by the Netherlands' defensive setup, and they do seem to concede in tougher games, and they do have a tough game against France in match day 2, which I'm not happy about at all. So, goalkeeper, low impact position. I checked the best 4 million goalkeepers that didn't play on the same day as Pickford in match day 1 and match day 2, and I found Stanek predicted to start. Czechia are actually not a bad defense at all. Stanek, obviously a bad game against Portugal with just 10% clean sheet odds. I will only use Stanek in emergencies where Pickford scores, you know, 2 or less points. I'm probably just going to stick with Pickford. But in matchday 2, it looks a little bit better. 38% chance of a clean sheet in matchday 2 against Georgia. By the way, that is better clean sheet odds than Pickford and a much better clean sheet odds than the likes of, well, Verbruggen, who has really low clean sheet odds in matchday 2. So, actually, on balance, I think Stanek is well worth going for as a backup for Pickford if I can't find anyone else at 4.5, and I can't. Stanek seems to be my best option. We've got Face here as well, the Belgian defender. Super cheap at 4 million, nailed on due to those injuries again. I'm not expecting to need him, but he's a reliable source of clean sheets if I do need him. We've got Kylian Mbappe, opening game against Austria, then the Netherlands. I think he'll do well in both of those fixtures. Penalty taker, 9 goals, 6 assists in 8 qualifiers, a goal and 2 assists in a recent friendly against, once again, Luxembourg. And we've got Bruno Fernandes to finish off the bench. 2 goals in recent friendly against Finland. And he came on as a second half sub and scored 2 goals. He's just that guy. He is him. 6 goals, 8 assists in qualifying. No midfielder did better than that. Portugal actually unbeaten in qualifying. I think their squad is insane. And actually, I think Portugal, dark horse of the tournament, maybe a little bit underappreciated. I do prefer Portugal's attack to their defense, however. Ronaldo's minutes, are they a little bit doubtful? Could Fernandes be on the pitch at any point where Ronaldo is not on the field at the same time? If so, Fernandes is going to be the penalty taker during those times. And the group is Czechia, Turkey, and Georgia. Fantastic for Portugal. Fantastic for Bruno Fernandes. So, let's talk about captains. So, as I mentioned before, I want my first captains to be higher risk, higher reward. And if they don't work out, I will happily go for a more safe pick. Players like Mittelstadt, players like DeMarco have just as much chance of getting 1 or 2 points as they do getting 15 or 16 points, to be perfectly honest. And if I can hit one of those 15 or 16 pointers with a Mittelstadt or a DeMarco, then I'm going to be really happy to stick with them as my captain for the remainder of the game, the match day. If it doesn't work out, and there is a significant chance it doesn't work out, well, it's no problem because I've got 3 super reliable captains that can come in and deputize. Kane in day 3. We've got Mbappe in day 4 and Fernandes in day 5. These are so reliable players that I don't even really need to worry too much about my day 1 and day 2 captains within match day 1. I can hope that I get something good, but if I don't, I mean, having Kane, Mbappe and Fernandes as your backup captains sounds pretty amazing to me. So that is the strategy I am going to be using, and that's one of the reasons why I'm not really too worried about not having any Germany attackers. But that said, looking at this team, I think Szoboszlai could potentially move to Gundogan. But overall, I would say my team is like 99% nailed on, complete now. Any changes I make will be at the last minute, and I'll probably make those changes on stream as we stream before the match day 1 kickoff. I don't think that it's worth me making any more team-related videos because very little is going to change. I think say the players in most danger are Szoboszlai and maybe De Kuiper. I could maybe consider changing Stanek as well, but I mean it's not really too impactful. But let me know what you think, guys, about this team. Does it look good to you? I think I've absolutely nailed it with a load of good, sensible options as well as some real hidden gems in there as well. Let me know if you've got any questions about your teams as well. I'm answering loads of questions in the comments. I'm pretty much answering every comment left on videos at the moment. So, yeah, feel free to leave a comment if you've got any questions, and I'll do my best to answer them. And, guys, also, we got a league code right there. League code hzfCWh. The C and the W are capital letters, but the rest is lowercase. Get involved, guys. We're going to do some prizes from fan prints for the winners. We might chuck in some football shirts there as well. So make sure you get involved in the league. Join now. I've left a link in the description as well. And yeah, let's see who wins that league. Could be you. Let's see. Guys, don't forget to drop a like before you disappear. Lots of work has been going into these fantasy videos. And do subscribe because we are dropping Euro fantasy content every day at the moment to make sure you've got all of the answers to all of your questions, whether they be fantasy related or otherwise. So guys, get involved, subscribe, check out another video if you would like to as well. But until next time, I will see you later, mates. Bye-bye.